Hey guys, my name is Bryce, and today I'm doing a video for you on my Karakuri deck of 2020. So the reason why I'm making this video is I've been having a good run with this, and I know that's probably coming to a close given the next upcoming ban list, now that people are starting to speculate. So I thought I'd show you the cards I've been able to sort of quote-unquote get away with while still being in this format. Before, in probably a few days' time perhaps, the ban list may drop and this whole deck might not function at all the same way anymore. So to start, we're not playing Golden Gearbox. So to start, we're playing with 2 copies of Deskbot 001. It's excellent for this format where after making Crystron Halqifibrax, you special summon out 3 tokens from making Auroradon with it and the Tuner special summon, which is another Deskbot. And when you special summon 2 or more machine-type monsters, you get to bring this back from the graveyard, and then you begin to synchro like crazy. So I just leave it at 2. Deskbot 003, this one you want to normal summon any chance you get, as you can special summon out Deskbot 001. So running 3 of these. For one of the answers to if you have, one of the Deskbot 001s in hand, and you want to use that from your hand. Normal summon Infinitrack Anchor Drill. When you normal or special summon it, you can special summon out a Earth Machine monster. Also, fun fact, if you have this special summon out your level 5 Karakuri Monk, it makes more sense to kind of do all the whole work and everything, unless you're absolutely sure your opponent has Nibiru, in which case, yeah, you can make True King of Long Calamities. And then still, we're not at Karakuri yet. I'm playing 2 of the Teni Spirit Adhara. This one in mind is quite straightforward. Going first or second, no monsters on your field yet, special summon this out, and also another good just material to have for Halqifibrax. Now we're into Karakuri. We've got Karakuri Gamma. This one just allows you to synchro climb. It's 3 of these. It's not great to have in your hand, but of course, thanks to Danishi, you have ways to normal summon it out. 3 of the Merchant as well. It's your Stratos of the deck, and it's ultimately going to be able to search for your Monk if you're in a really tough spot. Next, we've got our Nanishi. She is so excellent for the deck. In often cases, she's going to be able to be your beginner for making Halqifibrax as long as you've got virtually any other level 4 or lower Karakuri in your hand, so playing 3 of her. Following that, we've got Karakuri Strategist. Lastly, of the level 4 or lower Karakuris, we've got our Watchdog here, just playing 2. For one, you can't machine dupe it, which is tragic, but also it's better off just being able to special summon from your deck for certain situations. And then for the last of the Karakuri monsters in the main deck, we've got our new Monk monster here. Really consider the fact that it locks you out of special summoning from the extra deck Earth Machine monsters, aside from, you just special summon this out from the deck using other Karakuri synchro monsters rather than using its own effect. We've got the Symphonic Warriors here. So we've got a ratio I'm fine with. It's been disappointing a few times, but what can you do? It's a glass cannon kind of deck is the way I've styled it. 3 guitars, that's no question. And they play with 1 warrior mics. So yeah, 3 of these. You can maybe run 2 if you want. I've got that as an option in the side deck. We've now got a one and only 1-for-1. Then we've got 3 machine duplications. It's skirted the ban list several times before, and I don't want to be jinxing it, but I don't know, we'll see. This year has been a weird year. One thing that's constant, though, is your opponent's going to realize, hey, they like doing a lot of stuff from the deck, and I'm like, of course, I have no draw options, really. This is something that fires out machines from the deck as often as possible, so you want to be playing Call by the Grave to keep yourself safe from hand traps and whatnot. So I run 2 Cosmic Cyclones. This deck is so tight in terms of needing, a bit of protection and just a lot of starters and extenders. And then lastly, I know it's not limited to 1, but I'm playing 1 Pot of Avarice because this deck, turn 2 or 3, honestly, it runs out of gas very quickly. Simply just kind of reconfigure your board in a different way by getting your resources back. All right, so for the extra deck, we're going to be running a few pairs of the Synchros. So you'll notice that pretty tight for any sort of extra generic cards to use for removal. But we're running 2 0/0s. This is your level 7. They all share the same effect of when it's synchro summoned, you can special summon one Karakuri monster from your deck. And it is not once per turn, and this is your starter. If you can make a level 7 synchro, which you certainly can if all goes well with Auroradon, and your Despot 001s, this is where you begin the race. So you've got 2 of these, then you've got the 200X. You really want to aim for 2 of these, and then you would be banishing your Gamma to change the battle position of a Karakuri monster, switch one of these to defense or something like that, and get to draw 2 cards, and then proceed from there to continue on special summoning out more Karakuri monsters from your deck using the Gammas again to make these 2. Really shaped a lot of how this goes now, in addition to Halka-Fibrax, of course. But this is level 9. And then next we'll sort of move towards the end of the board. Essentially what you want to be aiming towards making is a pair of these, and use them lastly for their last special summon each to be special summoning out Nanishi, or Strategist, and your Merchant. So that will basically get you a level 3 tuner and a level 2 non-tuner. These on the field. You overlay these to make True King of all calamities. So detach one of these, declare whichever attribute you feel like, and then it just shuts out your opponent from activating effects or attacking that turn. In addition to that, for protection from like Raigeki or something silly, or Dark Hole, you'll be able to make Naturia Beast with your level 3 tuner and your Merchant. So that's a pretty good lockout. And as for your enablers to kind of have this whole thing going, you're going to be starting out with making Crystron Halka-Fibrax with ideally Despot 001 and something else. And then if not, just at least 1 tuner and another monster. Special summon out your Despot 001, and with those on the field, you link summon your Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. It makes 3 level 3 tokens that are machines, which is important again for the extra deck. But the main thing is that you're able to special summon out all those tokens, trigger Despot 001 as a level 1 tuner, and then you begin your Synchro Climbing and things like that. So there's that. As for this slot, which is really kind of the one of the few flexible ones, I've got Cleafort Genius, and I'll tell you why is that this has a lot of answers to other things, where essentially if you're able to procure some other monster where you can just negate their effects in order to turn off their floodgate for a bit, that's excellent. And the fact it's got a bit of resilience to your opponent's spell and trap effects also helps you sort of ghost your way through those sorts of issues and things like that. And the fact that it's still a Earth machine is also working in your benefit, which I'll explain a bit in the side deck again. Now moving on to a bit of an odd choice, but given the fact you can make a level 7 Synchro so easily, I'm playing a Yazi package that also goes with Saryuja Skuldred. So the idea with this one, if you're not familiar, and again it'll be explained for the fact that I have Mare in the side deck. This one really depends on if you're going second and you're trying to break a board, and you have other ways of kind of handling with that as well. Said you want to make a level 7 Synchro, create this, use its effect to destroy itself and an opponent's monster, and you are able to special summon out Mare, and up to thrice per turn you can reduce Mare's level by 1, and when you do, you create a little Mare token, and you basically just turn those tokens into a Link Rebo and also into a Link Spider, and Mare will still be on the field, and you'll have a token which equals 4 monsters for Saryuja Skuldred. And man, this card helps so much for this deck in terms of getting just the right hand you need, and also giving you a free special summon when you also are doing the right recipe of making it with 4 monsters. I won't go through the whole list of it because it's going to take up too much time, but I think even though it's slightly niche, the benefit to being able to have a targeting fairly easy to accomplish destruction of your opponent's card, and also be able to make Saryuja fairly easily before really even just going into your plays, I think is quite strong. And it even gives a slight attack boost as well, which is also quite valuable. Now onto the side deck, last stretch here. So we've got Mare, so I've explained the conditions for this already. And then we're running our own kaijus. Yes, we recognize that even though this deck is definitely vulnerable to them, so are other decks by all means. So I've got one of the kaijus, Humongous. I'd probably want to actually replace these 2 Gamma Seals, even though they're slightly lower attack, to be both 2 more Earth kaijus, because all these would be ideally for going second and everything, 2 more Earth targets for True King Lithosagam, the Disaster, because this one just tears through an opponent's extra deck, and even though this deck certainly doesn't really benefit from it, aside from just having a lot of Earth targets, yeah, it's got a lot of Earth targets, so there's that. Don't have too much time to explain that, but yeah, essentially it's just effectively fulfilling its conditions and everything. You can banish up to 3 monsters with different names from your opponent's extra deck. If you're able to destroy 2 other Earth monsters, just in general Earth monsters, from your field and or hand. So that's pretty universally strong, and then hopefully with whatever you have left from your combo pieces, you can go into what you can do. We've got 1 Twin Twisters. I don't like discarding for cost for this, just because you kind of run out of your hand quite quickly if all goes well, just because you can be so explosive with your turn, but then if not, it doesn't go very well. So that's why I prefer Cosmic Cyclone, and this one's more if you're strictly going against a Pendulum deck. But then Prohibition. If you know your opponent has Nibiru or some other card, this is very irritating. It's this is a common, but it's definitely still an expensive card, but absolutely worth it. Yeah, this deck needs all the help we can get, therefore playing Prohibitions. Slightly more affordable choices and much more easy to access. I'm playing 2 Forbidden Chalice. Again, this is more for going second and wanting to disrupt an opponent's board, because there's so many like monster effect negations, but if there's fewer things that are stopping spell and trap things, then this kind of gives you a chance to try and stop a little bit first before going into your combos. Now, I've got a Warrior Mike's just in case I'm a bit worried about drawing into it, given that I'll be going second and everything, and also if all the other ratios are lining up for whatever I'm siding against. Just helps things out a little bit more, but it is definitely dead in hand if you have that without the guitar, so just beware. And then last we've got Goes and Match. So notice how I put away a wind monster. I'm just going to cover it up with Goes and Match, which I can be playing up to 3 of. I really like this for being mostly an Earth deck. All the synchros are Earth, so if you are kind of worried about how to play against your opponent in certain ways, and you know this will be effective, I think it's really great because you can do not the most powerful play with it, but you can certainly do a board that if they're not expecting to have back row removal against a combo deck, which is fair enough to say, you can have a pretty good pinch point developed from this, and really not sort of be holding yourself back that much, aside from just obviously choosing not to make True King and everything. But that sums it up for this Karakuri deck. I know there's quite a few non-Karakuri decks, so it's certainly not a pure deck if that's what you're especially concerned with, but I think it's kind of the best that I can do even at a locals level at this point, given the power level I'm playing against. But there have been several times where I've been able to take game 1, lose game 2 for sure, because this is not great at breaking boards, but then you get a chance to choose to go first in game 3 and once again do what I can do without getting ashed, or at least, having an answer to it by being able to call by the grave on an ash or something like that as I'm trying to make Calco Fibrax, not getting Nibiru'd, and it works out well. So certainly a whole variety of different results based on what your opponent's got in hand or not, but I think when it works quite well, and it's quite fun as a result. Anyway, clearly I'm very passionate about the deck, but I'm always eager to hear from what the rest of the community is brainstorming for. So certainly if you have any ideas on how to improve it, or just say that you liked it or you found it helpful, or even if you have any questions and I wasn't clear about something, definitely write in the comments, and it'd be great to hear from you. Anyway, that wraps up this longer video. Thanks for watching all the way through, and I'll see you next time.